Hi everyone! Hello. I have my laptop right here, so I am going to talk and look at this script all the time. I'm sorry, but I'm trying hard to giving out a lot of information about the thing that you see on the title. So let's start. Let's start from the airport. I took 2 flights to arrive in Korea. I took a flight from Palembang to Jakarta, and then I wait for almost 6 hours with my friends. And fortunately, I have my friends that willingly to come and accompanying me for 6 hours. It's actually not 6 hours. We just there for 3 or 4 hours together. And then after 6 hours of waiting, I boarded into my next flight, which happened on 11 p.m. to Incheon, Korea. It took roughly for 6 to 7 hours to arrive in Korea. And on the airplane, you will get 4 papers that I'm gonna show you, and you should fill this paper right in the airplane or later when you arrive, but before the first counter when you arrived. The paper that you get will be arrival card, traveler declaration form, health declaration form, travel record declaration, 1 for each person. So if you bring your child, you need 2 papers. If you bring your husband, there's 2 papers. If you bring your husband and your child, there's 3 papers each. So you get each on each paper. I don't know how to explain that. On the flight, I got 1 in-flight meal time, which like a set, and I got 2 or 3 times for snack time, basically just juice, or if you want cookies, they will just give you like that. But I'm using Garuda Indonesia. Maybe if you're using another airplane, it's gonna be different. After arrive, there's gonna be 3 counter. The first counter is the one when you check your body temperature. Your body temperature will be checked on your ear. So the normal one will be 37.5 lower. If you get higher, you will get into another counter, which not included in this 3 counter. So I'm gonna explain these 3 first. And the second counter, after you pass the temperature check, you will go into like a counter for your visa, your passport, for taking your photo, and then giving the papers that you have filled in, and like that. And then on the third counter, it's a baggage claim. You can claim your baggage and then you get out. I am basically arrived in Terminal 1. If you want to take care about quarantine, you will be needed to go to Terminal 2. But before that, I want to tell you that unfortunately on counter 1, my temperature got tested and I got 37.9 Celsius. And I have a history of having flu before on the past 21 days when I arrived. So I got dragged into a health counter. I remember that the name is health counter C. Maybe there's A and B also, but I didn't know. But maybe C is the worst one because my temperature got checked once more. It's only like in 2 or 3 minutes interval before the first one. I think I got 37.9 again, or maybe just the same worse as that. They're just like, oh god, okay, you need to fill this paper and then you need to wait in there, and then you will get PCR test later. And then I was like, okay, I will wait, and then I will like fill in the paper. After I filled on the paper, I need to download like a quarantine application, which is not going to be used later because I'm going to use the different one, so I'm not going to talk about that. But to take this PCR test, I need to pass the second and third counter and move out from the airport. So basically I got into a bus. It's basically a 119 bus. It's kind of like ambulance but in a bus, and then I went into National Quarantine Facility, which very near from the airport. It's just like 20 minutes, they said. And it's a very clean room. It's just a bed, a desk, and then there's a bathroom. You get a natural air ventilation in there, which is very cold for springtime. For my tropical body, it's basically just like a winter breeze on that room. So basically in that room, the doctor came in and then did my PCR test, and they said that the result is going to be out in the next 6 or 7 hours, or maybe there's gonna be 24 hours if it's loaded, so you just need to wait in this room. It's getting dark when I talk about PCR. It's so scary. The same as my result. So for 24 hours or these 6 or 7 hours, I need to wait in that room. In that room, you will get free food, free room, free PCR. So basically all of the thing that in this national quarantine facility is free. You get free food, free room, free PCR. While waiting for your result, you get food for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you get room near the first hallway, you will get a chance to connect your connection into nearby Wi-Fi, which is the low Wi-Fi in the airport. This room doesn't have towel, no toiletries, nothing. So basically you just get 2 mineral water like on the side, and then you get a temperature, and then you have like toilet paper and what is it? Hand sanitizer. And you need to use your own things at the meantime. So basically just prepare your own toiletries. Just bring the small one. You should bring a towel because you need one in case you will go through the same thing as me. So basically this room is just like a literal isolation room. The medical team will send you food on the first door, and as you can see there's a double door, like door, and then there's desk and then another door to your room. You cannot lock your room because the only lock available is on the middle. Like you only lock it from outside, and you cannot open it from inside. The medical team will send your food into the middle room, like giving the food on the desk, and then you cannot interact with them except with a phone. So you're basically in isolation. So the medical team will call you every 2 or 3 hours. They will ask about your condition, how's your temperature and things like that. Or maybe if you need something, you can tell them like, oh, I need more mineral water, and then oh, I need a hot pack because it's very cold, because I asked for hot pack in there. Or maybe you need anything else, you can ask them via telephone. And about the PCR, if you get negative right after your test come out, people will come and pick you up and then bring you back to the terminal 1, and you need to process your quarantine to terminal 2. I don't know how it is because as you know, I got positive in my result. For positive result, actually the result will be announced via phone or via email, but the contact person that I wrote on my visa is my Airbnb contact. And actually my Airbnb contact doesn't tell me, but they asked me like, if you have diagnosed as positive in COVID, tell me. And then yeah, but I didn't know the result. I mean, I did PCR test, but I didn't know the result right now. And then I asked the medical person on the phone, and they said, yeah, you have COVID-19, you are positive, and you got the minor positive. So basically I am positive, like almost positive, and I could be treated and not becoming positive, you know. So I think it happens because I have low immunity. I did PCR 2 days before I went to Korea, and then I did one rapid test, just like a test from air, like airbag, and I also got negative on the day of my flight. So I think it's because of my low immunity, and I also didn't get to sleep in the airplane, and I also have a hardcore flu 2 weeks before, and I think all of that combined into one and becoming like minor positive in COVID. And the COVID-19 test in here, the PCR and everything like that, it's way more sensitive than the one that my country have. So I think that's one of the possibility why I get minor positive test. I actually doesn't hate the result that I got positive. Why? It's because, I mean, I get a hunch of it a little bit, but I don't want to be positive, of course. But I think it's a good precaution for me to enter this country. I know that this country is a very clean, healthy country. It has basically a stable curve on COVID-19. I just know that if I got treated in Korea, it's gonna be way better than I am back in my own country. You will know after I told you how they take care of me in here, because I'm freaking like living in a hotel which there is doctor in it, and it's just everything's so good that you kind of like relieved that you get treated in here. That night, when they said my result, they gave me paper about Ansan Facility Center, which located in Gyeonggi, Seoul. I got a chance to studying up my things before moving out to here, this facility. So this facility is not the national quarantine facility. As you can see, you guys, I got transferred here by an ambulance, like a literal ambulance. Just 2 guard and 1 me, and then I am on the back seat of ambulance. I never been in ambulance before, and never I don't want to be in ambulance ever. I shouldn't be proud of this, but for first experience to be in Korea, it's just weirdly fascinating for me. So yeah. And then let's move to Ansan Facility Center. In Ansan Facility Center, you will take 1 or 2 hours by ambulance or by car from the National Quarantine Facility to here. But you're not always to be in National Quarantine Facility, and you're not always going to be directed to Ansan Facility Center. There's a lot of options other than Ansan and other than the National Quarantine Facility. Sometimes you get a chance to get a literal hotel, but sometimes you're not. And for me, for my problem, I am here in Ansan Facility Center. And when you arrive, there's gonna be 2 counters. The first counter is for medicine. They will ask you a question about whether you bring your medicine or you have a prescription medicine or not. For me, I did bring medicine for cold, flu, and then for teeth and everything like that. I also bring many vitamins because they're Korean and you're from another country. You're going to be asked to show the medicine and told them what kind of medicine that are. For me, I bring like vitamin C, I bring multivitamins, and then I bring like blood vitamin, and then I bring a herbal vitamin. That kind of vitamin could be bring into your room, like your future room. But the other medicine, which called like drugs or medicine, you cannot bring it here, and they will toss it away to the garbage basically at that time. After you done with that counter, you move to the second counter. And don't worry you guys, in Ansan Facility Center, many of the medical team can talk English pretty smoothly, so you can interact with them very well. And move to the second counter, they will ask you to download a specific application for Ansan Facility Health Update, and then you will need to add medical team Kakao Talk. And to make this process very fast, you can start downloading Kakao Talk before your flight to Korea. And in the second counter, they will give you 2 bags of medical things. The first one will be like thermometer, and then blood pressure meter, and then there's oxygen meter. And on the second bag, there was papers and rules of the things that you need to taking care in this facility center. And there's a big plastic bag, there's gloves, and there's masks that you will need maybe during your stay. And the medical team will explain how to use the medical gears, and then you just need to basically check your own temperature and everything like that. And then you need to fill your health record in the application twice a day. And they will also call you every 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. to ask about your condition via Kakao Talk or via Facebook or via WeChat. There's actually a lot of options, but I think the safest one is Kakao Talk because people in Korea use Kakao Talk, so it's gonna make your life easier by downloading that. So basically in here, you need to tell them if you have something going on, like if you have a headache, if you have like something here and there, you need to let them know so they can give you medication and you will take it and you will be healthy basically. So just don't worry if you have something to tell them, just tell them. And I still have the paper right here. Maybe I could read to you a little bit about it. I think it's not possible for me to take a photo of it and put it in the screen because it might be a little bit controversial for me myself. So I'm just going to read you things. The first paper is the list of things that you can bring to your own room. So basically what you can bring on your room is only vitamin, fruit, and things that in a package which has expiration date. And then the things that you are not allowed to bring is something over 500 milliliter and something with no expiry date. You cannot bring humidifier, and you cannot bring electric blanket, and you cannot bring lighter. You also cannot bring red ginseng or sanghua tea. But there's also this paper. This is basically all the tutorial if the medical team downstairs doesn't like ask you to download some things. When you go upstairs, you need to download it, and here is the paper. This is the paper, the same paper actually with the one that I got on the National Quarantine Center. And I'm just going to tell you the important things. So in here, if you determine that there is no risk of spreading the infection, you will be sent home after the healthcare education, which minimum for 11 days and the maximum I think is for 1 month. If your symptoms are occurred by the medical team or maybe get worse during your stay here, necessary measures will be taken, such as being transferred into hospital. You basically this is an isolation. You cannot go out of your room, and you cannot get a visit from your family member or friends, and you cannot contact any patient right here. Basically all the hallway outside is just quiet. There's only medical team walking outside, and you cannot drinking alcohol, of course. You cannot smoke, you cannot make noise. And then meals will be provided 3 times at 8, 12, and 6 p.m. And you need to put your garbage in a plastic bag, in a garbage bag. And when you're discharged, you cannot wear or take the clothes that you have worn while you're staying. So basically the thing that I'm wearing right now, I'm gonna throw it away later, and then maybe the people later going to burn it. So what I do right here is I already get the paper on the National Quarantine Center, right? So I open my luggage and then I separate my things. I just select the things that I'm okay to throw it away. And I'm actually not okay, but I'm a little bit okay right now. So I just pulling out my sweater because it's kind of cold, and then I bring like 3 other t-shirts, 2 long trousers, and then I pull out my toiletries, just some of them, which is just 1 skincare, 1 shampoo, and 1 soap, and 1 facial cleanser. I pull out all of my gadgets because I think I need them, like my laptop, my phone, my power bank, my charger, and then I pull out my vitamin, and that's all. I didn't pull out my camera and anything like that because it's unnecessary. And you also don't need your passport and everything like that, so you can just put your passport in your luggage. And when will you can open your luggage again? You can open your luggage again on 1 day before your discharge, or maybe on the day of your discharge. I haven't discharged yet, so I didn't know about that. But basically all my luggage is right there and I am not opening it at all. Oh, I opened it once, but it's just very fast to put on my shoes in my luggage, because if you didn't put your shoes in your luggage, your shoes gonna be thrown away later. If you need psychological support or maybe like a general counseling, you have a contact information in here. If you have like an existing chronic disease, you can consult with medical staff to bring your prescription drugs into your room, and they will just like tell you whether you can drink it or not. And then if you're going to bring your laptop, phones and everything back, you need to sterilize it before you leave the center. And then on the day of your discharge, you're gonna leave the room, take the carrier, and then you need to wait for the instruction to go downstairs. When you go downstairs, they will disinfect your luggage and you're just ready to go. There's also information about this sent on Kakao T, and basically they only say that you actually can deliver things in here. The things that you delivered in here will be opened downstairs and then will be sterilized before go into your room. But if you use that, you gotta need to burn it later on the day of your discharge. I think it's safer for you to deliver your things in here when you almost discharge, so it doesn't get contaminated by you and you don't need to throw it away. But if you need it during your stay, maybe you can deliver it like days before. And you need to pay for this treatment. There's a code for your country. For me, I'm from Indonesia and I am code B, which means I need to pay for 1.4 million Korean won. It already included ward and bedding, but it hasn't included your food, your medication and everything. If you're getting worse, you're gonna get more medication. That means the price gonna be higher than the estimation. But for me, because I got released on 10th day or maybe 11th day, I will get the price decreased, and that's when I got less food, right? So I got the food fee also decreased. If you're code A, you get all of the things in here covered by Korean government. But for PCR, you get like additional price for it. And if you're country C, you will get charged for 1.9 million Korean won estimation. That's for 11 days. If you get more than that, you will get to pay more money. The method to pay is only two. First, there's cash. You need to pay in Korean won. And second one is you need to pay in overseas remittance. Your invoice will be sent on email before discharge, and basically the contact person will ask you about your email beforehand. You cannot ask them to clean in your room. You can ask for bedding change if you're staying here for long, but if not, the cleaning is not possible. When you get out, you will get an invoice. You get confirmation later on discharge. And if you're doing PCR test, it's not mandatory, but if you're doing a PCR test, you will get your PCR test. For several countries, you cannot leave for 11 days. You need to stay for a month or so. I don't know what country is it. But if you want to discharge faster, you need to do 2 PCR tests to basically say that you are negative. And you need to pay for it. And move to here again. If you're having like a symptoms like flu symptoms, coughing or sneezing, you at least need to use facial mask even in this room. Or maybe if you're like sneezing or coughing, you need to wipe the area that got infected. When you get back, you need to sterilize the thermometer, the blood pressure, the oxygen, the luggage bag, and your phone, everything. There's a lot of different things, but in here you need to clean your own luggage bag. But on another paper they said that they will disinfect it downstairs, so I don't know. But maybe for precaution you can just disinfect your luggage. It's not a hard thing to do. There's 3 types of meal available in this place in the center. First is halal food, so basically there's no pork. There's only going to be either beef, fish or chicken, but beef is very rare. And there is B, vegetarian menu, and then there is menu C, which is Korean food. I got the Korean food, and you can see all the footage of me eating the Korean food. And there is like, in case of fire, where is the main gate, the lodging, the gathering place, and where is the emergency stairs. And there's also like how to use a fire extinguisher, and also how to use the small one right there. I got that. And then how to do the waste disposal. Here's a picture of it. You need to basically press everything into small pieces, and then you need to put it in orange bag. If you didn't get the orange bag, you just can put it in a white container. You need to reduce the volume. You need to tie up the orange bag securely, and then you need to disinfect the outside of white container using disinfectant before you bring that out, basically. So the last thing on the waste disposal, you need to close the lid surely and be sure that the lid is closed. And after it's closed, you just never open it. And don't forget to discharge it before 6:50 p.m. because they will collect the plastic container every 7 p.m. and you will get new container later. Oh, and what I remember is you will get an x-ray, and if you get a good result, they will not contact you, the doctor not going to contact you. But if you get a bad result, they will contact you via Kakao Talk or by email. On your discharge day, you will not get a transportation to pick you up or send you back home or somewhere. So you need to prepare for it. You can download Kakao Taxi, and on Kakao Taxi you can use foreign number and then you can change it later. Based on my research, the difference between living in Ansan and hotel government is actually not a lot of differences. First of all, the time difference is very different because in there's no doctor. You basically, I think you still need to take the blood pressure and everything like that, but in here you get controlled by doctor basically. So when the doctor said that you are negative and you can get out, you have no symptoms, you can get out in minimum of 11 days. But it could be get extended if there's a problem about your health, and you can get transferred into hospital. And actually basically the same if you're living in a hotel government. You are going to be there for 2 weeks, right? But in 2 weeks, if you get symptoms, you will get transferred into place like this, or maybe into a hospital. And today I actually got informed by the medical team that I am going to be discharged very soon on June 2nd. I have been here from May 23rd on evening, and I will be discharged on June 2nd in the morning. So yeah, I'm looking forward for it. You can ask me anything in comment section. Maybe if you have the same thing that happened to me and you want to ask something for precaution or anything, you can just ask in the comment down below, and I will definitely try to answer all of your questions. And then I will share you a link about quarantine in the description box below. To be completely honest, this experience is very weird to be in Korea for the first time, and actually to be aboard for the first time and get this experience. It's just too much to handle. And I just know Korea is very cautious about COVID-19, and I knew that I could be healthy by their treatment. So if you just go with what rules they say to you, you will get better at COVID-19 in here, and then you can get healthier, 100% healthier in here. I do feel very relieved to get this opportunity to be treated very well in this country. And as I said before, I get my PCR test done 2 days before my flight, and I got negative. But sadly, all of that negatives actually Korea doesn't care about that negatives. They care about the positive that you get in Korea. They're just trying to be cautious and trying to handle everything very good to make their country clean, and just don't be offended by you getting positive and then you think they're lying or anything like that. So that's it, you guys. I will be out from here very soon, and so the next episode might be not about the quarantine, or maybe it's about me going out from this quarantine and move to my Airbnb. So if you want to see me exploring Seoul later, just subscribe to this channel, like this video, and comment down below like anything that you want to see, or maybe you want to recommend me places in Korea. Just let me know, just comment down below, and I hope this video helped you guys. And if you're going through the same as me, I hope you guys getting healthier, and basically all the best for you. And I hope this video giving you a lot of information about quarantine process when you get positive in Korea. So that's all, that's the end of this video. Goodbye, and see you again on the next video on my channel. Goodbye.